All right, what's going on, everybody? We are back and doing something a little different. So, Cody and I have decided to hopefully start doing a weekly video together. So that way you can maybe potentially hear from a different perspective. The ultimate goal here is to give everybody as much insight and teach you how to be the expert or final expense expert.
I
So,
love it.
without further ado, if you guys would, before we get started, do me a favor and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also drop a comment down below, just as Cody says, and let everybody know that what your thoughts are. And if you got any special requests, drop them down there. If you guys are ever interested in joining the agency, shoot us an email at rycohaveitall at gmail.com. So, Cody, like we discussed, we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about tonality. So, tonality is the key to becoming a expert.
Yes, absolutely. The main goal here is to talk about tonality today and kind of hit on how tonality can not only help you overcome objections, it can help stop objections from even coming up, but it can also be the make it or break it reason why you make a sale or not. Right? We have lots of agents that come to us and they're like, man, I was on the 99-yard line, right? Like on the 1 yard line about to score, and somewhere along the way I lost it and I don't know what I did. Now, if we start the call from beginning to end, the intro is always the most important 5, 10 seconds, right? So saying stuff like, hey, how are you doing? My name's Cody. I'm calling you about the request you put in. But now that I've talked that way, if I don't talk that way through the whole entire thing and I get preoccupied or distracted by something, or there's something, a medication or toolkits comes up and they don't qualify for what I thought they would qualify for, I start to sound like, yeah, I'm working on it over here. And that tonality switch throughout the conversation has now put the client on notice. Like they are listening. They don't see us. We're not in their home. So the quickest and easiest change ups in your tonality, or for example, I got wazoo of kids. If my kids run in my office and they like scream or something, the client gets super scared, skeptical, sketched out. They thought I was, a supervisor in an office somewhere, not in my house, right? So things of that nature play a huge factor in making or breaking the deal. And if you can get the tonality right, and whatever client you talk to, even if you are funny sometimes, right, and you say, "Hey, man, how are you doing today?" I'm going to do the whole interview this way because that's how I started. I was playing around. I bit myself in the butt because I shouldn't have done this, but now I got to do the whole thing this way because I don't want them to think I'm changing up throughout the whole process. Right. So you got to be aware of what you're doing and who you're doing it with. And in that first, 30, 45 seconds of asking a couple of questions and getting some feedback, you should know the client's tonality. And then you can kind of come down to match them a little bit. So you don't have to stay at this high pitched tonality the whole time if that's going to get them to hang up on you for you being too much or not enough.
Yes, so I absolutely, and I think, for example, when it comes down to using your tonality, that what we mean by increasing your sales ability is people can make sales, lay down sales, and sometimes maybe a little bit more difficult sales by just being bland and talking like this and going through the sale and kind of going through the motions. You can make sales that way. The goal here is to bring everybody out of the I'm issuing two policies a week and and one of them's falling off, to I'm now issuing a policy or two a day, and 90% of them are staying on the books. That's the difference that tonality makes. It will propel you that much further if you're showing the client that you actually care. When you start out the call, hey, Cody, this is Ryan. I was just giving you a call about the information you requested. You were looking into options there for final expenses, right? Like that has some energy behind it. Or if you answer, hi, Cody, this is Ryan. I'm calling about the request you put in. You were looking into options for final expenses. see all
Completely different.
it's
I would hang up on
completely
you.
different. Yes. So you want to make sure that, like Cody said, match your the way you start it, continue throughout the call, or don't make gigantic changes, right? Don't get down in the call, don't get super high pitched in the call. If you start high pitched, move on with the call high pitched. And if you need to bring the level down because maybe you were a little too excited, do it gradually. Don't be like, "Oh, Cody, how are you?" And then 5 seconds later, yeah, you were looking into final expenses. You want to gradually change. Again, we all make mistakes, but you want to make sure that you're not making gigantic moves because that will easily throw the client off.
There's one thing that has to go with tonality. And whether you're new and it's your first day or you're an expert, it always has to be coped or coupled with confidence, right? Like, I'm not going to call Ryan and say, "Hey, Ryan, is this Ryan? Ryan, are you the person I'm calling? Because I think you were probably looking for some life insurance." Now, my tonality is fine, but my confidence is weak. "Hey, Ryan, I was giving you a shout about that request you filled out for life insurance. This is the one where you put your address as iloveryan.com." Right? Same tonality, a lot more confidence. So you have to have the confidence to know that you're talking to the person that's on the lead card or on the Facebook ad or whatever you're running. You have to have the confidence to understand that when you talk to the person, because that's something that's taught in sales from day one. But as you get going, you get unsure of yourself or you get hung up on or things happen. And along the way, you lose that. You're more worried about the other stuff. But the first 30 seconds of, "Hey, Ryan, this is Cody. I'm calling you about that request you filled out. This is the info you provided. I'm the guy that's going to help you. Let's get started." Like, if you have that confidence in you, that's also what helps you keep business on the books. It also helps you be able to pivot if you get declined or move through applications and help the client actually find what they're looking for. Um, the confidence, even if only 80% is actually true confidence that you're showing and giving, they're not going to be able to tell that 20%. But now if you're 80% faking it and you're 20% real, they're going to notice that difference, right? So you got to have the confidence from the beginning of the call till the end. Um, and I think that that was part of that call. It was the unsurety of the beginning of the opening of who they were talking to. Like, "Hey, Ryan, I was calling you about that form you filled out for insurance." And it's just the questioning tone, right? That's a tone, that's tonality. So we want to try and stay away from that, if that makes sense.
You really have to make sure, like you said, like Cody said, there you have to make sure that you maintain that confidence. You have to have confidence, and the easiest way to have confidence in this business, in my opinion, is just know that they did fill it out. Know that they're raising their hand asking for help. So don't buy into, "No, I didn't fill anything out." These people are truly requesting information, especially if you're running your own ads or you've got somebody running ads for you. These people aren't getting uh 40 different ads put in front of them and they have no idea what they accepted, and luckily yours was one, and now they have no clue what they actually got themselves involved in. These people know. So that's where your confidence should come from, especially in the beginning of the call. So, but yes, absolutely, tonality. The first 30 seconds literally are make it or break it in this business. When you're doing telesales, 30 that first 30 seconds, the first impression is everything. So
It's key. It's
it
key.
is
Yeah.
key.
And I can
So
say something else because what I would like to add on to that is, right, like for the confidence. So if you say like, "Hey, Ryan, I'm calling you about that request you filled out," and he's like, "Yep," that "yep" should give you more confidence to then make it to the next section of your script or whatever you're saying. Like, "Awesome, you put your email as this or your beneficiary is that." "Yep, perfect. Now you know, now I got the right person on the line. Let's go ahead and talk about this request." Okay. Now you got like you're not getting pushback and feedback of negativity from the client because the confidence is there that you're calling them and talking to them with that they normally don't get. Because you got to remember, these people are on Candy Crush, on Facebook, on Instagram now, on TikTok. All they do is like these creators, all the people on YouTube and all these places make so much money off of advertising, right? So the ads are out there for everyone to see all day, every day. I can't tell you every time I talk to a client, almost, I can hear an insurance commercial in the background on their TV, whether it's life insurance or Medicare or supplements or free grocery card. If they sign up and they change their Medicare, their prescription drug plan, right? Like there's something always regarding insurance or some type of advertising. So you have to make sure also that when you are talking to this client that you explain the benefits of you and what you do as a broker or an agent or your ability to have the confidence to tell them that you don't need to talk to anybody else because if you talk to me, I'm going to be here and when they call, you need to make sure you answer the phone because that's another part of confidence is a lot of people are scared to answer that call because they think it's a cancellation. A lot of clients want to fix their bank account or for example, today I made a $1,200 sale, $1,112 sale, because I had a client who got a policy in February call and add more coverage today. Answered the phone. Hey, my dad's got a policy. It was what you said it was. We appreciate it. We want to add another 10,000 in coverage. Right? So like that would be a blessing. But if y'all are scared to answer the phone because you don't have the confidence in what you did or how you sold it, then you are going to miss opportunities left and right.
Yes. Yep. So why don't we do a little bit of a mock here?
Impromptu tonality battle, riff.
It's called a
I
riff.
like a riff off. Ooh, bring it back now. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, so let's do
Okay.
this.
So
Ring ring.
hello.
Hey Ryan, this is Cody. I was giving you a ring about that request you filled out for the final expense life insurance programs.
Um, okay.
Yeah, this is the one where you put your brother down, Luke, as the primary beneficiary, and your insurance email address. Your email address is ryanvalet@gmail.com.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just got to let you know the call is being recorded for quality training purposes. At any point, if you have any questions for me, make sure that you ask me, okay? Tell me a little bit about your current situation. How long would you say you've been looking for something?
Yeah, so I've been looking for a while now. I mean, it probably about 6 months. You know, it's hard out there. I'm on a fixed income and I mean, shit's just so expensive.
Man, I completely understand that. 95% of the clients I work with are on a fixed income, so don't have any fear there. I'll help you with that. But basically, what we need to find out is exactly what you're looking for. So, in the 6 months you've been looking, have you actually talked to anybody or gotten any numbers that made sense to you?
No, nothing that makes sense. It's all too expensive.
So I can assume that's why we're on the phone today. It's because you're tired of looking and you finally want to find something so that makes sense and fits in your budget.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, understood. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want my
Uh,
brother to have to pay for it in the end.
yeah, so I would assume that's a big reason we're on the phone, right? You don't want to be a burden on your loved ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. When you were talking to those other people and you got that the information, you said it was too expensive. How much are they telling you on a monthly basis you're gonna have to pay?
I was looking into 50,000 at one point and that was like $400 a month. And I mean, really at this point now, I just want to get, 15, 20,000 so that way I make sure that my brother doesn't have to come out of his pocket for paying for my funeral. I mean, it's not his responsibility.
Got it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, sometimes we want something and we want to leave a legacy, right? Or we want to leave a bunch of money, but it just isn't in the cards for us, right? So the 15 to 20,000, that makes sense. That would cover a funeral and would also leave just a little bit of money behind. Um, so when they were telling you those numbers, the 400, did they give you any numbers on that 12, 15, $20,000 range or no? They were just telling you about those $400 quotes.
Yeah, the 20,000 was like almost $200 and I'm just not going to spend that much. I mean, it just doesn't make
Gotcha.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. So if we can find something that makes sense for you and fits in your budget that you actually have, would that be something you're willing to put in application and see if you actually qualify for today?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's got to be the
Okay.
right price.
Obviously, yeah. So what is that price for you saying like, hey, I want to spend somewhere between $100 to $125, or where are you at?
Well, I'm on a fixed income. I don't want to spend anything over 25.
Okay, understood. So for 25 we can get you coverage, but we're not going to be able to pay for a burial, right? I want to be realistic with you. We got to be on the same page here. You're
Oh,
74
okay.
years
All
old.
right. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I'm a tight ass. I don't want to spend the least amount as I possibly can. So, I mean, if I can get something around $100, I can afford that.
Okay, well, let me back up here real quick and just tell you a little bit more. So if I can jump back to the beginning, my name's Cody, if you missed it, and I'm a broker through the state. That means that there's more than one option. I work directly with all of those options, right? So in your state, there's 40 options. I work directly with all 40. Our goal here is to find you the cheapest rate with the best carrier for the best price. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what everybody says.
Gotcha. So I'm not Jake from State Farm, right? So my goal here is to help you out. So give me a date of birth real quick so I can start looking at this for you.
Beautiful.
All right. So there was no ums, ahs, oohs, laws. Like I would like Ryan to say what he heard from me because he definitely did throw out some objections,
Yeah.
right? But
So the thing I would point out is notice how Cody's tonality, it was low key. There wasn't anything super high pitched or really low. Like he remained very level throughout the call. I always talk about the straight line. You got to keep, there's not just a straight line as far as keeping them within the script, but there's also a straight line when it comes to your tonality. That's why we're saying don't go high, don't go low. And he was using the curiosity tones where he needed to, not so how long have you been looking? Not it's so roughly how long have you been looking? So it's making sure that you're using the right intonation in the right areas. So that way you don't seem like you're asking a question all the time, or just seem like you're or being so low that you seem like you're bored, right? So and
and for
everybody
me, let me break down that for simpletons like me, intonation, that means like if you're going to ask a question, you have a question tonality, right? And
yes.
you're not having a question tonality the whole time. And we have several agents that have a problem with that, right? So if I'm going to say, so how long have you been looking? That's that's a question tonality versus saying like, yeah, so how long have you been looking? Oh, okay. That's not a question tonality. That's a like get up and go. Let's keep going. I want to run through this. We're fast paced.
Mhm.
If the person on the other end of the phone is not fast paced, you're doing it completely wrong. So that's a key aspect, right? And I would say trying to find a way to not say ums and ahs and oohs and laws, like that's a big portion of confidence and of
Yes.
a script, right? You don't see in the script that you have in front of you broken down. Okay, well, give me a second. I'm looking through your options. Like that's not what it says.
And the reason why people have those ums and ahs oftentimes are due to in in
He just had one.
unconfident.
And unsurety, unsureness, I would say,
Yeah,
maybe.
so the reason why people have those ums and ahs and everything is just because they don't have the confidence in themselves. It's to fill dead air. So don't be aware. It's always better to have dead air. At least, I guess there's always a level of dead air that you should avoid also, but it's okay to have dead air. So adding all the ums and ahs in there just causes your clients to get uncomfortable and untrustworthy with you because you don't sound confident.
Absolutely. I do concur with that statement. Um, and another aspect, I would like to do another tonality, kind of like you come on as the client extra excited or extra worried or extra scared, something like you don't see every day. Because one of the things I hear a lot from clients is, well, this one was different. This wasn't one like the last one. This was this or this, right? So like those 30 seconds we talked about, this is where you match the client. Like the tonality is not your tonality. The tonality is their tonality. So it's the tonality that they're giving off that you are the frequency, they're the frequency, and you're the whatever this is trying to match that radio wave, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, so if he is giving us a different frequency, we need to be able to make sure that we aren't wavy like this, that we can find a way to match him in the first 30 seconds. So that way it doesn't sound weird to him or strange or not professional or skeptical. I have a recording of a lady that I gave the bee's knees to. Great lady, gave her all the confidence. I told her she was an awesome person. I had this feeling inside of me the whole time. At the very end, she said, "You know what, Cody? I just want to give you a 10 out of 10. I normally would not be able to share this information because I would feel so unsure, but you made me feel safe and secure during this phone call. I had no problem giving you my personal info." That makes me feel amazing. It also makes me feel like that's not going to be a chargeback. And it also makes me feel like I'm doing great at my job, right? A key to that, I gotta say, is at the end of this call, when I made this sale, there's two types of agents. There's the agent that jumps right back into the next sale, which is me, right? Or there's a person that's like, let me go to Target or take the rest of the day off because I made six, seven, $800. I never make that money, and why do I need to keep trying, right? So the problem with the first one is you have this energy about you that you feel confident in securing a person and helping them. The next dial you make, that person isn't the same, but you're coming with the energy that just worked, and it becomes a problem. You drop off a client, you lose a sale, whatever. So I've always trained every agent to, after they make the sell, they have to take the time, they have to put their notes, they have to do their dispositions, they have to add their client list, they have to do certain things that we require of them. It's a 3-4 minute process, but it's silence. They're out of their brain, they're busy. So now when they go to call that person, they're just like, "Hey, I was calling you about that request you filled out," instead of being like,
Starting
"Hey,
over
I'm calling you
fresh.
about that request." Yes, fresh start, right? The second type of person is they're never going to get a flow. They're never going to get that consecutive 3, 4, 5K day because one sell is enough for them. One sell every couple days. But we should know in the industry that it gets cold out here, right? So if you have one today, try to make it 10 today because you might not have another one for 4 days, right? And then you're like, "I'm not good at this." You start questioning your script and your confidence and all kinds of things. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey there, how are you doing, Ryan? This is Cody. I'm giving you a ring about that request you filled out for the final expense life insurance.
Yeah, I didn't fill anything out.
Hey, Ryan, yes, you did. This is the one where you put your beneficiary as Kendra, and your email is ilovekendra@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah, that's me. What the hell is this about?
This is the request, man. I'm sure you don't want Kendra to be there and having to pay for your funeral. So you had filled out a request asking for some help with the final expenses when you pass away.
Oh, yeah, she keeps telling me that I need to get life insurance, and I don't want to make her rich. I mean, I guess I don't want her to have to pay for it, but I don't know. I don't know if I've got the time right now.
I understand, man, and this is the question I'll have for you. If you passed away tomorrow, is she going to have something that's in place to take care of it, or is it going to be out of pocket?
Yeah, we ain't got nothing. So
So I
she,
think
she she'd have to figure it out. Maybe her boyfriend will pay for it.
those Sanchos, they don't pay for much. So
No, they don't.
let's see if this makes sense to you. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'm gonna give you the quick version. Okay, I'm not a sales guy, I'm a broker through the state. I work with all the insurance carriers, and my job is to help you find the cheapest rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, I guess
Oh,
so. Okay.
okay. So what we're gonna do, Ryan, is I'm gonna ask a quick couple questions to help you find out what you actually qualify for, okay?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's figure it out, man.
All right, there you go. So his tonality changed, and I then changed down my tonality to with him as he went. I didn't stay way up here. Like he answered the phone, like y'all need to pause and play that back, right? And that will teach you a lot because that's a drastic change from way up here to way down here. But I matched him the whole way down until he was ready to go. And I
Mm.
didn't move on and be 10 steps ahead because he was quick. I stayed my lane because I'm the expert and made him find his way to where he needed to be.
Yep. Very, very, very key. Again, matching the tonality of your client. And not every time do you have to match the exact tonality, but you do have to make sure, especially if they come in angry like that, that you're, hey, look, I've got a job to do too. You're no business, no food tomfoolery guy. So am I. So I'm just gonna get right in here and do this. And you for very oftentimes for angry people, you have to put them in their place of, look, if you don't do this now, you're just going to continue to put it off. I'm going to be the guy to take care of that. And that's what you have to really drill into people. And that's why Cody had that tonality is look, you said you wanted it, you filled out this form, and you clearly don't have anything, so you have the need for it. So don't sit here and tell me that you just don't have time, because eventually you won't have time. Eventually, you're either going to get too sick and you can't qualify for the stuff that you want, or you're going to be in the ground. So
And
sometimes
there was no ahs, right? And I
yeah.
didn't do the full script. I said I'm going to give you the fast version, even though I did the script.
Mm-hmm.
But giving things like that's like tokens to them. Like he's going to help me out. He's on my side. He's helping me. When he got to that tone, when I put him in the tonality that he wanted to be in, that he needed to be in for us to have a conversation, I'm completely in control.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Whether he
100%.
buys or not, I won't be mad. I think I did everything I could to get him, because what if he's on Direct Express or doesn't have a bank account or has stage 4 testicle cancer, right? Like I give him GI if he really wants it, but he's not the type of person to want a 2-year wait. I could tell by the beginning of the call. So
Mm-hmm.
like I know those things throughout, so I'm not going to waste 47 minutes trying to find out, because we're going to address the issues as they come and not put them off and still try to make a sale we know we can't make or shouldn't make.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's perfect. Yeah, so when it comes to your tonality, I'm going to stress again, if you want to become a top salesperson, that is absolutely key that you start understanding that there's tonality that goes along with every sale you make, every conversation that you have, every first impression that you give. Tonality is absolutely key. And if it helps anybody, my frame of mind is always that, look, I'm here to help. I always try to think I'm here to help. I'm going to treat you as if you're my own family, and I'm not going to do anything or offer anything to you that I wouldn't offer my own family. So if you don't like that, then that's on you. But I'm doing every part of my job to make sure that you've got the best options out there. So, any one-liners to end it here with, Cody?
When it
When it
comes
comes
down
down
to it,
to it.
we are your experts.
Yeah, guys. So again, thanks for tuning in. Drop a little love down in the comments for Cody. Drop some love down there for me once in a while.
Tell me
Uh,
if you think I should start my own YouTube channel, guys. I'm on the fence about it. I
yeah.
need some
Hey, what do you guys
reiteration.
think? You think Cody should get on YouTube himself? We are going to try and do this every single week where him and I get on together. We'll probably post it on both of our channels, but we want to again try to give multiple views, multiple takes of any scenario that we can give you guys. So yeah, let Cody know down in the comments. Should he start his own YouTube channel? I think that
Peace,
answer.
guys.
All right. See you guys in the next one.